Okay guys, so here's our December garden. Basically it's a pavilion made out of tarp that I turned into a greenhouse. You could see, I'll link up here how we first set this up in September. But, just quick update. This is how I set it up anyhow. The bottom really needs to be fortified and secured to the ground. We had a nasty windstorm about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. So it was about 10:30 at night. This whole thing flipped. So it was about 45 degrees out. That's why I have these old tires from my Titan over there, kind of just holding things in place. But the whole thing flipped. I was out here at 10:30 at night, trying to re-secure this thing and stake it down. So we had these long metal stakes that the previous owners left. They used to tie down their camper RV with us. So drove them into the ground, secured them on the inside, tied it in, did 6 of them, one on each corner, and then in the middle there. So, but this is it. And then I raked a bunch of leaves on the outside of the base just to kind of insulate. So let's take a look inside. Okay, so here we are anyhow. What do we still have going here? It's December 28th. Still got the carrots. The onions are still alive. The green pepper plant's still here. Ghost peppers that I need to harvest. This will be my 3rd harvest of ghost peppers. I'm not sure what kind of plant this is, but it is flowering. It could be a chocolate douglas or a chocolate bootla. I'm not sure. But super hot pepper. Another ghost pepper plant. Here's the sangria peppers. Still flowering. Reaper. Now, when you guys tuned in last time I did an update, the Reaper only had 3 to 5 peppers on it. I treated it with potash, which is ash from your fireplace. Just throw that down. It's a natural fertilizer. And I harvested the Reapers that I had, and you could see a ton more Reapers grew since September. There's a Reaper, another one. I mean, they're all over the place. So I don't expect them to get real huge with this lighting system. But all I did was loop them over the top supports, tie them in with a zip tie, tape them down. These are thanks to, and I'll do some shout outs real quick now that I'm doing this, but Kang Star, he started off as an indoor plant grower, gardener. He had a lot of hydroponic systems, but he suggested these kind of grow lights in his operation. They're Sansi, so indoor grow lights. So I got 2 of them. You can see this one here. It's got the hook. That costs about $50. So 45, 50 bucks. The other one doesn't have the hook. It's the same light, but it doesn't have the hook. You can buy these lighting fixtures that screw in to any light. It's like a long extension cord, probably 20-footer. So without the hook attachment, it's only $24 for one of these things. And then the extension cord, lighting fixture extension cord, I think that was $10. So really for nothing. Not a lot of money. You can keep growing. Again, the grow tent itself, which is advertised as a pavilion, wedding pavilion. It's not supposed to be a permanent structure, but You can make it more permanent. Obviously, I've had this up for 3 months. And more ghost peppers here. Strawberry plant doing well. Here are some green onions. This is another super hot. I think this is the chocolate primatali, but you can see there are peppers growing. Here is the Meyer lemon bush. It's got flowers on it. I don't know if you can see that back there, but right there. Right there. Anyhow, tomato plant is flowering. This is the end of December. So in North Carolina, we had several weeks in the 20s. So what I did, brought out the indoor lightings and then set up one of these. It's just an indoor heater. You know, it's all coming from an extension cord from the house plugged in here. And you want to make sure everything's dry, it doesn't fall over. Can be a fire hazard. Here's the ginger. It's still growing, still living. It got some heat on it, so it burned one night, but it's coming back. What else do we have? Now, this is my experimental area of the garden. So when you buy things from the grocery store, onions, this is a cabbage. Here is, what was that? Not broccoli, I forget. But there's lettuce. You can, you know, save the core and save the core. This is cauliflower. Here's an onion. You can see it growing. Another onion right here, growing. Another one right here, growing. 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 You save the core, put it in a Ziploc with a little wet paper towel underneath where the roots would be. Usually they're trimmed, but just put that, zip it up, little damp paper towel underneath, zip it up for a few days, put it in front of a window that gets some sun. It'll start growing roots again. And as soon as that happens, put them back in the ground and they'll grow. These are leeks that I bought from the store. So you can see, you just cut them off at the base, a couple inches up, then harvest what you can. I throw mine in the freezer, whatever I'm not going to use, and then I plant them. Put them in a cup. Before you harvest them, what I do is put them in a cup of water by a windowsill, the whole thing, and the roots start growing at the bottom. After a few days, you'll see roots starting to grow. Then cut them about 2 inches up or so, plant them, and they start growing back. Look at that. Same thing with green onions. Same thing. Bought this at the store. Put it in a cup by the window. Started rooting. Harvested what I could. You see what I was going to use, and planted it. It's starting to grow. Snow peppers are crawling up the extension cord. Here are the beets. Doing real good. Moruga scorpion, arugula, lemon balm, mint. That's radish over there. Here's some greens that I have, all doing really good. Now what I want to show you is, if I can get an angle here, that's summer squash in December. See the flowers? Look at that. So, and that's the tomato plant behind it. All still growing at the end of December. Thanks to King Star's tip about the grow lights. So a little heat, not much. You only use it when it's going to get below 45. So that's the only time I turn it on. And so King Star, shout out to you. Nate over at Garden Like a Viking. This guy knows everything about gardening. So if you're into gardening, check out Nate at Garden Like a Viking. He used to work for a a farm industry out in California. So he knows he was one of their lead gardeners for a huge operation. And he shares a plethora of information. A lot of it's based on Korea, natural organic gardening. So now I make my own calcium acetate, which is basically crushed up egg in vinegar. So you can buy CalMag at the store. It costs like 25 bucks for just a little bottle of it, you know. Now I make my own. So thanks to Nate, Garden Like a Viking. Another guy is David the Good. So David the Good gets into all kinds of really good techniques. What's it called again? The perma garden, perma soil. So he'll teach you how to use potash and coals in your soil to make it a lot more nutritious for your plants. Now, like I said, this is my third harvest of Superhots this year. My first harvest went to Flake. So this is about 40 or 50 ghost peppers that I dehydrated. There's Reaper in there, some Moruga scorpion. So that's a ton. That'll last me until next summer. So I put this stuff basically on everything, but you don't need a lot. I may end up making some extract. So that's part of it. And then I'm making this year's fermentation. Here it is. This is probably about 50 ghost peppers. I got about 10 Reapers in there, about 5 Moruga scorpions. I've got a few habaneros for the bite, the sting, some garlic, some onion, and I mixed it with a melon this year to, you know, make it sweet. I'll tell you what it is when I figure out whether or not this is good. But fermentation, it's been fermenting since the beginning of November. So put that down. And the other things that I brought inside were the rosemary bush and the cilantro. I just got tired of having to come out here every time I wanted to use some fresh herbs, you know. So I put them in the garage. I'll give you a quick look here in a second. But yeah, so David the Good, Nate over at Garden Like a Viking. There's Millennial Gardener. He's down in southeast North Carolina near Wilmington. He's really good. There's the Michigan Gardener, M.I. Gardener. And then Pozzoli up there in New Jersey. He's really good too. He's going to an all container garden. So I think that's what I might do this year, is just all containers. It's a lot easier to control. The only thing you have to do is make sure you secure the containers so when it rains or storms, they don't flip over. So you want to make sure you secure them enough that they don't tip. But that's it for the garden update. I'm going to harvest all these ghosts. You can see I got a ton of them. So there's still a ton of ghosts over here. Over here, you can see that. There's probably, I want to say, 40 to 50 ghosts left. There's probably 5 to 10 Reapers, a couple scorpions over there still to harvest. So I'll make some more flake. I may make another ferment, a smaller one. This will make a ton of hot sauce, so we'll see how that turns out. But let's take a look at the rosemary and the cilantro. So here it is. It's on top of my parents' old dining room table. But here's the rosemary. It's doing really good. Cilantro started getting huge, so I cropped the top. So I expected to get a lot more bushy. I've got some lettuce over here going. This is just a floodlight from outside. I attached it to, I bought this telescope for my daughter. I just attached it to using one of the extension cord light fixtures. Attached it right to that. Some fly paper, obviously. keep the bugs off. But salad, cilantro, rosemary, there's a little cactus going. All this is doing really good. So a successful end to the year. The spring wasn't very easy, but like I said, I had a lot of rabbit problems, fighting the deer, trying to keep them away from the garden. So it was a rough spring, early summer, and then end of summer, fall garden, winter garden really is doing well. So hope you guys had a great year gardening. Keep your green thumbs up, and we'll talk to you next year. All right, bye. God bless.